All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for Game 3 of Week 3 of the Swain Batty League. I am AJ0, joined here by 30 and the Xmas Tree to bring you the incredibly exciting action coming up of Tuca White to Live versus SBL Batty Bargain Bullshit Bin.
Nailed it.
I just want to reiterate, guys, that team name was used before. It's really lame that it's being used again. The end. I think we're ready to go here. So, real quick, one thing I want to touch on before we go into this draft. It looks like 2K2S is actually making a roster substitution, in addition to there being a lot of name changes involved in this game. It looks like Boom Trooper, the guy who started at 80 carry for the last 2 weeks, is not going to be playing. So we'll want to keep an eye on who's playing 80 carry for 2K2S.
Yeah, who's Frisky Onachan?
That is RNGK's Okami.
Okay.
Who was going to start for them last week, I believe, but he had some computer issues at start time, and they ended up starting Zaku instead when they were going to start, I assume, Keizo Okami and Boom Trooper in the bot lane. But it looks like in the past week they have opted just to try Boom Trooper on their bench entirely.
Okay.
Also, Tree, we are apparently getting some reverb on stream if you didn't see in Twitch chats. Not sure if you have a stream that's open somewhere.
On maybe the Swain page, the Batty League website.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, that happens all the time. So I mean, this is a game to see if we will have an undefeated team still. Batty Bargain is 2-0 on the season, going against the 1-1 to Quite a Live to Quite a Die. And because there's still some lineup questions for 2K2S, what do you guys think? Do you think Batty Bargain can pull this one through?
I really liked how 2K2S looked last week. Even if they still have some lineup questions, as long as they have Thrifty and Scotchadoth and Epic there, I don't think their bot lane is going to be that much of an impact on the game. I think we saw just Scotch coming back made this a completely different team. And I think that's good enough that they can play through while they kind of find their identity in bot lane.
Yeah, I agree. I always pictured them just leading the charge into a fight, and the other three just following them up. It'd be interesting to see what Thrifty picks this week. They are blue side, so he doesn't get the counter pick. But that probably shouldn't matter. Well, actually, is this the best mid lane matchup in the league?
It depends on how high you are on my wing, but probably.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I don't want to discredit Wang, but I mean,
I think until Wang proved himself a little bit more, you have to assume this is the best bot lane matchup.
Yeah.
Sorry, mid lane matchup.
I mean, Blab already's got 2 unanimous MVP weeks, and Thrifty last week really went off on the Karthus. And Thrifty, very legacy, good mid laner. Probably the highlight matchup of this week.
The real question
really could decide the game.
Is going to be what the fuck Blab plays middle this week.
Well, I don't think he's going to play anything cheesy against Thrifty, but he was joking about a Jhin pick in the Twitch chat earlier.
A
for their
Jhin
bottom
Teemo
lane.
bot lane. I doubt that.
Yeah. And I don't think Jhin is a cheese pick, by the way. Jhin is
I think Jin's
really
good. The Teemo's the cheese pick there.
Yeah.
And we are
all right, starting off with a Vel'Koz fan, obviously.
Yeah, they'd be stupid to let that through. No reason.
Yeah.
I could have seen Thrifty considering it, though.
Yeah. Evelyn ban, yep. Oh, against Epic Yandere. Yeah, he pulled that one last week. And then he defaulted to the Amumu, and then he also got an MVP award last week for his Amumu play. It's a pretty weird jungle pool for the current meta.
Yeah,
even then defaults to Amumu.
Amumu and Evelyn banned versus him both weeks thus far.
Huh.
But
I think
he had quite a good Amumu game last week. I mean, everywhere he was, kills seemed to occur.
Yeah, and that looks like the strat for Batty Bargain Bin. They're trying to take out Epic and Darius Champool here with the Amumu ban. Callista ban going over for 2K2S. It's a pretty good ban. Vivred is very, very good on Callista, and Callista really can take over games these days when you get into that mid-late game.
And we finally see a Thresh ban on Failed Destiny, gonna force him to finally play something else.
Yeah, I think that's a great ban.
And the
My
Zyra
team,
goes
we were
through.
really arguing back and forth about the Thresh ban on Failed Destiny.
Yeah, that's true, Swift. If they do want the Zyra, this might be the game that happens. But again,
Thrifty
This
Zyra?
happens every season, guys. Every single season. This has been happening since season 2 of the Baddie League. Start of the season, Thrifty Senpai gets Zyra banned. At some point, someone goes, "Hey, we have a plan for Zyra." He plays Zyra. He wins. It's banned for the rest of the season, and that's that.
It's out of the Disney vault, guys. It can happen.
And there are a lot of players on the Triple B who haven't ever really seen that much of Legacy Thrifty. It's just Mikuro and Strip who would know about the Zyra. And those are two guys that don't always have a tendency to respect their opponent entirely.
Mm-hmm. That
So-
is very true when it comes to Madam Stripe. I really think he worries about what he's gonna play and what his team's gonna play. He doesn't really care what the other team's gonna play.
Yeah, so definitely going to keep our eye on that Zyra for this entire draft to see if it does end up happening.
Yeah. So Scott, the overall first pick is going to be Alistar for 2K2S. I think that's a perfect first pick. Alistar, incredibly strong. I think they mess him with some nerfs, reducing the healing, things like that. It's going to be hard to really take Alistar out of competitive play. His engage is just too good. Disengage is great. Laning phase is super safe. It can be paired well with much any ADC as well.
And Alice is a champion where it's like if the support's the best player on your team, great, he can make Alistair plays. And if your support's the worst player on your team, you're like, great, he's Alistair, he's never going to die. There is never a bad time to pick Alistair.
Yeah.
yeah, he's just so good right now.
Yep, and then answered right away with Failed Destiny on Braum. Another great, in my opinion, tier 1 support right now. I have seen him play Braum in some normal games or some in-house custom games. He's very good at that as well. He's really good at hitting skill shots. I think that's what Failed Destiny is all about. It's a good one to hit the Qs on, but Everett also picking up Gragas for his team, going over to Mick in the jungle. And he played that last season quite a bit. I mean, Gragas now really back in top tier play with the W buff recently. Good tanky frontline, Braum and Gragas, first rotation.
Yeah, I really like that Gragas pick for Mick. That's been, as long as he's been playing jungle, one of his most played champions and one that's very good in the current meta. He played a lot of that last season in the SBL, and I think that's just a personal power pick for him that doesn't rely on him picking his shitty Shaco.
Yeah. Mick's taunting it right now, but
It won't happen.
yeah.
So on to the next picks on the 2K2S. We've got Quinn and Sivir picked simultaneously, so showing that double or more AD carry comp. And let's talk about Sivir for a second, okay? It's the best pick in the game right now, and everyone should be first picking it in 100% of situations unless it's banned.
It's a strong.
Yeah.
Nope, don't undersell it, Tree. It's fucking back.
Yeah,
It's so fucking good. And my team will probably first pick it every time. I don't even want to put Salvo on it. Salvo's too good to be fucking relegated to playing Sivir. But she's back. We have to do it. This happens like once or twice a year now, doesn't it? Where Sivir just comes back and it's really good. And we're going to see a lot of it in the SBL because the AD carries aren't as great as they've been in some previous.
Yeah, I agree, and you just have so much utility with the ultimate. You have a safe laning phase, and then it's a team fight no brainer. You can pick Sivir first, and then build a team comp around it, or you can pick Sivir last. But I don't think that should ever happen. And what happened is Thrifty Senpai picked Zyra for the mid lane.
This is going to be a slaughter.
Look at that team comp, rounded out with a Malphite and Zyra with Sivir and Alistar engaged. Wow.
Because you know the problem right now with what they got going? Not only is it Wombo, that's going to be Wombo while Zyra plants are fucking destroying you.
And we talk a lot about Thrifty Zyra, but this is also Scotchanaut playing Malphite, one of his best champions. Something that was banned a ton last season on his championship run. Something was banned against him last week. And
yeah,
a champion that synergizes really, really well with... That's going to be Malphite in the jungle? Or is that going to be Quinn in the jungle?
Knowing Epic Yandere, actually, I don't know. Those are both pretty weird
That
junglers.
just hit me.
Okay, that's what
let's talk about the mid lanes in the meantime. Because Toxic Labour picked out his Scion again.
Okay. I'm learning a lot about Scion mid matchups. Do you think that's going to help me in my rank solo queue climb?
I think it will never help you once.
It depends. Are you the one picking Scion? Because otherwise,
well,
no.
Dude, if people want to learn how to play Scion mid, start writing the textbook now. Watch Blab pretty much just pick Scion mid whenever he feels like it, apparently.
Yeah, I believe Blab has a LoL class video.
Oh, Blab, please make a LoL class themed video about mid Scion, please.
But, jeez, so let's break down the triple B comp. They can disengage out of everything the Sivir does, and then deal minimal damage. But I don't see anyone ever dying.
That's the thing. This is a true disengaged kite around, while Ezreal does hopefully sustain damage over time. And they played this style previously. I think it was week 1 where they played the style really well against Hard Engage. And it's failed Destiny on Thresh, and then Mick was playing some sort of disengaged jungler, maybe. Or yeah, I don't know. They were playing some kind of team comp that it was very good in short skirmishes, and they played it perfectly, like disengaging the full, like the full engages, blowing the big cooldowns on the enemy team, and then using their better short cooldowns to win the fight. And that's what this team's all about, honestly. Double teleport as well, which offers a lot for split push in the late game. I don't know. Well, see, the thing is, Blab on Scion, the one game he ran teleport, he didn't even use it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if that was because his team was just kind of winning macro so hard that game, or he didn't know how to use teleport effectively. We'll probably get a good idea about that this game.
Yeah, I think he might just bring it in case he has a bad lane matchup where he has to like back early for whatever reason and then teleport back into lane. Because I really don't see him using it to its like truly full potential, because his Scion ults are so good. Why teleport into the fight when you can just run across the map and win the fight that way? But I guess
he's got some of that Death God Nero top lane Rek'Sai syndrome going, where you TP to a fight and then you ult back to your own lane.
Oh yeah. No, that's a good point. I forgot about that strategy. Well, Vivred on Ezreal. Let's talk about that for a sec. So his Kalista was banned. Last week he went to Lucian, or I believe it was Lucian.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever seen him play Ezreal. But I mean, Vivred he's a very good ADC player from at least so far this season. He's shown that. Ezreal is a champ you can really get going on. You can kind of take over the game just off your poke alone. If you like spike really early on, you get the Iceborne and you get the Manamira, and you go into mid lane, you can pretty much just poke anyone off tier 2 towers and get all of those a lot easier if you're, instead of playing someone like Lucian or Kalista, shorter range.
Yeah, I feel like Vivred's going to need to have a really good game this game, because a lot of the damage that's going to come out as these fights are kind of kited out is going to be from his Mystic shots, and if he's not putting those in the right places, I don't see Batty Bargain Bin winning many team fights.
I agree. And he actually played Sivir last week, which that makes sense. Sivir will be picked or banned for the duration of this season until Riot figures out that they made her too strong.
Whoa! Are you implying that
then.
Riot made someone too strong?
You're right. I apologize, Tree. I maybe shouldn't have said that. Riot
It's
knows
okay,
what they're doing.
because Riots will just nerf her Q damage next week to balance things out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good, right?
Hopefully. Alright, so going into this game, we see there is a bit of tag disarray going. We've got some SBL tags, we've got a Baiters Anonymous tag, we have multiple people that aren't even in clubs in this game, which is really going to be the new skin war.
That is true, and I'm glad the last two games had, matched up tags.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see only 3 of the 6 teams today using club tags.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that would be a pretty obvious thing to see on Tuesdays.
Well,
And
it
is worth noting that every winning team did have a club tag so far.
So no one can win this game?
Correct.
You heard it here first. It's a tie.
And I think we actually have a pause going, so I'm going to need you to cover real fast while I scroll through teams. Where the fuck is Alice?
Okay. So,
I see him now.
User left your channel.
Okay.
well, I'm loaded. I just loaded in.
Yeah, as did I.
Yeah, there'll be, I guess, a hashtag pause. Or hashtag SBL pause the game. Wow, a lot of pings going out right away from K2S. Maybe it's just battle lines, though. They pinged in the battle line positions.
Yeah,
Man, I just want a big level 1 fight where both teams just, like, walk blind into each other.
That'd be pretty cool. I don't think we'll ever see it.
Fuck, dude. Can we do it next week? You and me play. Can we just decide on a spot and then, like...
just duel it? Just fucking go at it?
Yeah, just go.
Don't
back down.
Base our entire pick ban phase on a level 1 team fight.
Yeah.
And just ride it out from there.
Yeah. I think that'd be entertaining for the viewers. I think everyone would like it.
It'd be fun, for sure.
Yeah. But it looks like there's a little bit of cheese, actually, for Batty Bargain Bin there. They're waiting in that bush, but no one took the baits. So go back to passive level 1s here.
So I'm not seeing the pause?
No, I'm not seeing the pause either.
That's
Should I be
alright.
seeing the pause?
I don't know. There's no pause, so...
Okay, I guess we're gonna keep casting until we see a pause.
Yep.
Alright, looks like both junglers are gonna start at the lower side here. Pretty standard stuff. Now, I haven't seen a Quinn jungle since she was like initially reworked, and she was like the top win percentage in 3 roles simultaneously, or almost four roles simultaneously.
30, we've talked about this. Please don't imply that Riot did anything wrong.
Okay, once again, I apologize, Street. Riot and their design team, their balance team, I should say, actually, gets it right the first time. Every time.
Every time.
And I'm
Nothing's
winking
wrong.
so much right now.
Graves was never broken.
And Graves was never broken, dude. That's blasphemy.
Frisky.
Oh, man. Look at this. Trading going down into Frisky Onachan. He gets the level 1 Braum passive.
There's the pause.
And there is the hashtag SBL pause the game, brought to you by Bad Dragon.
Brought to you by taking half your damage, level 1.
Yeah, wow, they fucked that up.
Yeah.
Sorry for being blunt, but holy shit, dude, that's how you lose the lane at level 1, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. That's a lot. Even if he pops his potion, he still won't be full health. Like,
yeah, and against something as pokey as Ezreal Braum, especially with you when your Alistar support. Your Alistar support is relegated just to healing now at this point.
Would you mind hopping up into this channel with me and Alice really fast?
what?
Who?
You. I need a
Me?
jungle expert.
Okay.
Buddy joined User left your channel. Buddy left your channel.
And I'm solo. What's up, boys? I can't do this solo. I'm panicking. Panic. Send help. There's nothing even to talk about yet. I already shit on their bot lane for taking Yava's health. That's it. That's all I got. Just... What up? Yeah, I love you too, chat. Q&A, ask me anything. I don't think I trust you up here, Salvo. Actually, you know what? Hold up. We're getting Salvo.
User
What
was
up,
moved to
Salvo?
your channel.
Hey, Tree.
So, you're here to save me, right?
Yeah, why not? It's usually what I do.
What do you think about 30's recommendation that we just do our pick bands based on level 1 next week? I like it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It's not like there's anything we could do wrong.
Okay, so apparently what's going down is there's a bug with one of the camps and it's constantly resetting.
Oh,
So
I figured they just noticed that they had Quinn in the jungle.
no, apparently a camp is constantly resetting. That must be why Quinn's still there, so
Well, clearly 2K2S is trying to cheat. DQ'd.
User joined your channel.
All right.
User
okay.
joined your channel.
You may have been a little confused
User
on
left
what
your
you saw on
channel.
stream there. We just did a lot of verifying, and it looks like I don't even know what the Stone Bros bugged out. Whatever the hell they are now, they're not the Gromp, they're the Double Camp. The big one was bugging out and continually leashing, even when it shouldn't have been leashing. We pulled in a jungle expert named 30 to verify. We are very certain that this camp was bugged out. Krugs, they're called Krugs. The Krugs were bugged, and we're gonna remake.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
it totally fucked over a first clear.
Yeah, that great little addition called Patience, which actually I do. At first I didn't like Patience, but then over time I've actually come to love the little thing they added, the little bar on the top called Patience. And like you said, Swift, yeah, he was even standing like right next to it, but pretty much actually in the camp, and the Patience was just continually going down.
Yep.
And that did that twice.
Yes.
To a Quinn jungle, and that pretty much forces you to probably recall if it's going to keep doing that.
forces you to get dunked on if you try and play that game.
Yeah, and I'm at the pause screen right now. And it's at a little under half health, the last remaining Krug, but he's already burned one of his potions. That was one of his refillable pots. So yeah, unfortunate, but shit happens, and we'll just remake. I mean, obviously the game hasn't been impacted at all.
Correct.
Yeah, there was a pretty good level 1 trade that me and Tree were talking about in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Frisky and Chan, you get a free pass this week. Just don't do that again. Just when the Braum passive gets laid down level 1, just step back, take a breather, eat a Mentos mint. Yeah.
You guys left me alone.
I'm sorry. Did Salvo come in here?
I dragged him up here.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
I was going to do a Q&A with the chat, and then I decided to drag Salvo in and talk about our level 1 strats for next week.
Mm-hmm.
For when we dumpster you 5v5. We're getting the strats ready, man, for the pick ban. Bring your A game level 1.
That's good to hear, dude. I don't ever bring my A game. You should know that. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I just don't. But I'm still gonna give off the persona that I do, that I'm a better ADC than everyone else in the league. Because you know what? Confidence really wins game street. Anyway, we're gonna kill a bunch of time while we remake here. I'm still at the pause screen. Should we just leave this game?
I left.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a new game being made.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell these guys they can start without you.
Oh yeah. I'll right click. Unless I'm in here. Oh, got it. All right. Maybe I can. Shit. I just want to see the team picks, but I think I got a pretty good memory. So So aside from that goofy level 1 trade that Frisky Onachan went down here, I think the matchup we really need to be watching is the Zyra versus Scion mid lane. Now, okay, what the fuck? Did I just say that out
Yeah, you
loud?
said that. That's the thing that happened.
I don't know if you've been watching much out of Korea lately, but I've actually seen that matchup.
Fuck you. There's no way that was played.
Yeah, I don't know why I was drunk. I was feeling really bad about myself, and I wanted to watch and be like, hey, I think I'm better than silver players in Korea. So I went on to something.tv, I can't pronounce. It was Korean letters, and I was like, silver stream with like 10 viewers. Yeah, and I saw Zyra versus Scion, and these guys were better than NA Pros. I didn't learn anything about the Zyra versus Scion matchup either. Yeah, I do agree though. I think that is entirely the matchup that decides this game because, well, first of all, it's the best player on both teams.
Picking the cheesiest picks out of the whole game.
Playing some SBL specials.
Yeah, that's
Sabo does have a
fun.
point. They made a whole game about that mid lane. Multiple.
I've never played Plants vs. Zombies, so I don't know.
But the plants are the good guys in that game.
Okay, well,
So
do
take
think
that how you
Thrifty
will.
Senpai's- Do you think Thrifty Senpai is the good guy? Do you want to debate that? Is Blabuert the bad guy? Because the more I think about this, the more I think he is.
Is Blab the bad
I
guy?
mean,
Blab might be the bad
he's-
guy.
He plays Scion and Vel'Koz in the mid lane. Sounds like something the bad guy would do.
And he links anime IRL into our chat.
Sounds like something the bad guy would do.
So is Blab like just a generic anime villain?
He
Yeah.
looks like a bad guy. Remember when Nuke Duck looked like an anime villain with the really long hair? I mean,
Yeah.
Lab's got some pretty long hair. He looks like he could be kind of that just cold, calculating bad guy who might have our families killed while we're casting his game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Plays
Blab,
dive kick.
you're the baddies.
All right, and we got the picks locked in here. And we'll try this one again from the top. Talking about the top lane matchup, though, Scotch's Malphite versus Madam Stripes Lulu. Now, these are both, once again, very comfort picks, but I have to imagine the Lulu is even more comfort for Stripe, and it is a range versus melee matchup. So I would imagine this would go in Lulu's favor, but I'll ask our resident top lane expert, Swift.
It's going to be really important for Strip to play out strong laning phase before the first back and to get some kind of an advantage because after the first back, Scotch will likely come back with enough sustain and some MR to not have to worry about anything too much. And then after that, Strip's going to want to just be pushing that lane in as much as possible so that Scotch's windows to make teleport plays are a lot riskier.
Okay.
Ranged versus melee isn't as tough as it used to be on the melee. Corrupting Potion is a big deal. And Corrupting Potion plus Teleport means it's pretty easy to cover up your own weaknesses.
Okay. Yeah, and they did change the way minions aggro. I don't know the specifics on it, but they did change it like 3-4 patches ago with to try to balance out that range versus melee matchup. But yeah, I mean, Scotch playing the late game scaling tank. I mean, really, all he has to do is survive, and that his team comp really comes online in that mid game. Like their team fight is very, very good. I don't know Quinn jungle. I mean Quinn alone. Obviously, you see Quinn played in the top lane a lot. Sometimes you even see Quinn mid, which are both solo lanes, which both get a lot of gold income. But in a jungle Quinn situation, will Epic be getting enough gold income to be a split pusher? Will he actually become a huge threat?
I think that Epic's threatening window is going to be more mid-game than late game, where not as many calculated 5v5s are happening, and he can just go from skirmish to skirmish in no time. And it'll make up for the fact that not as effective as a solo lane Quinn would be. Epic needs to be in... Basically, 2K2S should never fight unless Epic is there.
Yeah.
But as we saw last week, Epic was very good at being in the right place at the right time a lot.
Yeah, he really did that. He really had a knack for that. He was pretty much in every early game gank, and I wonder if that's actually him shot calling that, being like, "Hey, but I'm coming bot in 20 seconds, coming to the lane, set up for it," or he just like there's even no communication, and he just knows, he feels it out, he feels the counter gank, and he's there. And yeah, he really pulled it off last week, and arguably he can pull it off even better than when he played a Mumu, a much slower moving jungler.
Yeah, it'll be very different though because he can't afford to be late playing Quinn because Mumu can show up late and on a counter gank and he's gonna miss the bandage toss and then flash in and pop curse into sad mummy and everyone's not able to move. They're having a bad time. They're taking damage from everyone. Quinn needs to be there dealing the damage the whole fight to be effective. I mean, yeah, she can blind you, but I don't think anyone on Triple B is going to be losing sleep over a blind.
Yeah, actually, that's actually a really good point. None of these champions on Betty Bargainman are actually that affected by a blind. Even Ezreal, though, the AD carry for that team, doesn't really care about being blinded.
Ezreal
with
would
all the
get like
abilities.
one auto out during the blind anyway. It's not like he's missing a ton of damage from that.
Right,
I
yeah.
actually have a bit of a new strategy I would really like to see Epic go for. You need to pick out who the shot caller is on the enemy team and then focus them with blinds. So that they're constantly, like, as you're dancing around before a fight breaks out, all of a sudden the shot caller's blinded and the shot caller just goes silent for a second and a half.
Swift, is this based off our fucking...
This could be based
Practice
off the game
game?
we played last night's practice game with my team. At one point, we were dancing around Dragon. I get blinded. I'm driving. I start to panic. I'm like, oh no, what's going on? Blind wears off. Wang picked up a triple kill. I missed 3 different champions getting 100-0 and by an Orianna shockwave and some other shit. And I just popped out a blind. And I was like, wait, you killed all of them? And we won the game 30 seconds later. So maybe blinding the shot caller is not that effective. But hey, we're back in. Oh my god. Feels good. And they even lined up their picks so portraits are all good.
Wow,
These
that's
are
nice.
some next level remakers in this game.
Yeah.
Thank you 2K2S, thank you
Oh.
Triple B.
Wait a minute. Nope, Alistar is not.
Oh god damn it.
Yeah.
I always thought Zaku was garbage.
All right. Well, and we're back on the Rift for game 3.5, and Batty Bargainman, they are as a unit as 5. Yeah, they're looking for it. They're looking for the fight. Thrifty gets knocked with the Braum Q, and 2K2S, they're respecting this invade. They're backing off.
Gotcha's kind of coming down like they could maybe fight instead of going for any trades on Vision.
Yeah, I think they definitely see them in here. Wow, Patty Bargainman they're really showing how they're the dominant force here.
Look
They're
at this
just
damage.
They're
I mean,
just
they
walking
had
around.
a good 30 minutes to plan out this level 1.
That's true.
And yeah, that was really disappointing out of 2K2S. Batty Bargainman walks into the jungle, and then Scotch comes from an angle where the only thing he could possibly do is face check into Fog of War instead of trading Vision.
Well, it does look like Quinn will be starting up blue rather than bot side. I don't know enough about Quinn jungle to say if that's normal or not.
Well, maybe he's just scared of the bugged Krugs.
Oh yeah, he was starting Krugs. That's what caused this whole thing.
Yeah.
So
But
Yeah,
he's
it
not
looks
going
like
to get any leash, which, from what I know of AD carries, is probably going to kind of suck for him.
Yeah.
he seemed to do all right.
Yeah, I mean, the range junglers, if you do it right, if you know how to kite these jungle camps efficiently, sort of teen on the edge of patience, you can do it pretty well.
All right, Failed Destiny walks in and takes a bunch of damage there.
Wait a minute, did they switched around? Who took all that free
Kind
damage
of. I
level
mean,
1?
at least Sivir took some damage. It wasn't free the other way
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Look
Ooh,
at
Phil
this
Destiny
aggressive
right
level
up in
ones.
front, yeah. Guys, they don't even have a second ability.
It's literally just Qs. All right, level 2 is Ezreal. Oh God.
Oh my god. Okay, I don't know if that was a misclick or a disrespect on Zaku, because if Zaku was a little bit quicker, I feel like he could have pulped. He's just maximizing damage, right?
Right.
I mean, E does do damage.
Gotta get that DPS.
Yeah, dude. So nothing crazy too far in the laning phase. Mick? Wait, what? Oh yeah, Mick is really just power farming here. He's taking out every camp on his way to the red buff. He's already level 3, and he's gonna pick up his second buff here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Epic a little behind.
We'll see if he goes straight up to top. He is under half health, so I don't know if he's going to be looking for a gank or not.
Yeah, and wow, Blab's actually getting beat up here in this mid lane. Thrifty, he did bring Thunderlord's Decree, and he's proccing that as much as he can.
Man, it looks so easy for those plants to proc Thunderlord's Decree.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's gross to even think about how Zyra mid could be the best it's ever been, and Thrifty's playing it right now.
Oh yeah, don't make me think about that.
And oh yeah, there's a Zyra remake. They're remaking all the classic mid lane mages, and I read the rumored Zyra remake, and it's pretty off the rails. Get ready for that.
I'm sure that'll come right before playoffs, and Thrifty will win the SBL championship again. No one will enjoy anything.
Yeah, the stun of the Zaku and Vivor's gonna punish that, but Boomerang Blade comes out and does very minimal damage. What the fuck? What is he running?
Yeah, that was very low.
Yeah. I guess there's just not levels in it yet. It really does. It does have some good base damages on it when you level it up to 5. But yeah, to go back to what you're saying, Swift, I think they could have maybe threatened a flash, and that would have changed sort of the lane for Madam Stripe, but.
Yeah, it's very tough to play.
Oh, and the Ignite goes down into Blab. Thrifty gets knocked up, and Blab will casually walk away. So almost a kill for Thrifty. Thrifty's probably a little bit upset that he wasn't able to pull that one off, but he does get... Oh, wait, Blab didn't even flash there either. Wow.
No.
And so Thrifty might have not came out ahead in that.
Yeah, with his Ignite down, I don't think he has to worry nearly as much. Zaku might get stunned again.
Yep, and he does.
That's a lot of free damage they're getting onto him.
Yeah, this Ezreal Braum lane is tons of poke, and they're really zoning off Zaku and Frisky from the wave as best they can here.
Yeah, they're 10
getting
CS.
a nice CS lead.
Yeah, there's just really nothing they can do. I mean, Zaku could, if he heals up here, he could try to force an engage on Ezreal, but with Ezreal E, you can actually buffer it if you see the headbutt that you won't ever get pulverized. So actually, this lane is horrible for Alistar and Zimmer. And Scotch is continually being pushed into his tower here, which is probably the best thing for Stripe to do on Lulu. He has to, Malphite has to use all of his mana to try to last hit under the tower there.
Yeah, and that lane not going too well for Scotchshot. He teleported back into lane and was immediately chunked back to half of health, and has spent the last minute playing catch up, while Strip's just getting more and more of a CS advantage.
Mick is hovering around this top lane though. Epic was spotted out there and forced an engage. Headbutt pulverized onto Red. Boomerang comes through and deals the damage, but will be disengaged.
Yeah, Scotch is just getting punished under his tower right now.
Yeah. It's not going too, aside from mid lane, it's not going too well for the side lanes for 2K2S. Scotch actually came back with a Negatron cloak as first back with boots, which is peculiar. It's very uncommon. I would have expected to see a Spectre's
Blab
Cowl.
might have to flash here.
Yeah, and Thrifty, he flashes, he lays down the root, lays down the ult, but it's not even needed. First blood going over to Thrifty Senpai.
Yeah, that flash root sealed his fate.
Yeah.
And 2K2S really needed that, because even though they just got first blood, they are still down a few golds.
Yeah, just from the big CS deficits those side lanes are putting up.
Yeah, that's a pretty big lead this early in the game. If honestly, right now they should be looking to back. Ezreal wants to have backed a long time ago and get that fucking tier.
Tyrion, well, he's probably going for Tier Sheen, but I think he has enough for that still. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He just got enough for that, so
Okay.
this is an okay time
Tier
for him to back.
Sheen boots?
No, it's 600 for the tier, and yeah, he had enough for just tier Sheen and some pots.
And a
But
pink board, yeah.
That's not the worst. But Scotchanaut, I don't know what he's hoping to do here. I don't know what he's going to build the Megatron into. It's going to be something that's not super common because, like you were saying, the Spectre's Cowl is much more common as the early MR item or a Hex Drink around the champions that can build it. But then he goes for Boots of Swiftness on his second back, which also isn't going to do much for him because he's presumably going to spend most of the game under his tower anyways.
Yeah. Gosh, what are you doing?
I think he's already planning for the teleport out of lane to gank somebody. I think he's ready to lose this lane and go bottom.
But he's going to have to do it soon, and it's not going to be easy for him to teleport into bottom. That's an Ezreal.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're teleporting in on a Jinx or an Ashe.
Right, exactly. And he has to wait it out for Zaku, his headbutt pulverize to blow Viveret's essence, or Arcane Shift. Because, yeah, you're not... Ezreal can Arcane Shift both of these telegraphed, the mini Malphite ult and the Malphite ult. You can buffer it where you don't get hit. And he has Flash on top of that. I don't see a gank in the bottom lane going too well.
Purple in chat saying he's going to build that into Xerath.
Yeah, I see that. I was gonna bring that up. I don't know if Xerath's even the good first item though. Like, what are you're gonna put it down in the lane phase, where your opponent can take it out easily? It doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe, what do you think about that?
I think it's not good. That's like a solo queue cheese strat, and I don't think Malphite's the champion to do it on because it gives decent stats. Like it has decent goal efficiency. A lot of people don't realize that about Xerath, but I don't think it's enough take stats for Malphite, who wants to be able to just full YOLO teleport it on the spot lane.
And the Batty Bargainman bot lane, they hit 6. Mick was in the tribush waiting for the gank, but Epic Yandere, he's also once again here in the wings, literally, on that Quinn jungle. He's level 7. He's farming up. He did pick up an assist from that mid lane gank, so he went Skirmisher Saber. Which I think is pretty cool. Yep,
and a
mid
slow
here, barrel lands. Root
good
goes
ult.
down to Mick. Zyra ult tries to disengage the fight, but Thrifty will go down here. Mick is super low, and he's waiting for the Zyra passive, and he picks it up on the way out back to base. Trades 1 for 1 in a 2v1 gank. I think Thrifty's going to say that's a win.
As the fight goes on bottom lane, Phil Destiny takes a lot, but both Zaku and Frisky take about half their health.
Frisky Oni-chan used Spell Shield on both ultimates in that fight.
Oh, Jesus.
That was wonderful.
What?
Spell Shield's the Braum Fissure, and then on cooldown, Spell Shield's the True Shot Barrage.
Oh, wow. I think that makes up for his, from the game 1, the non-existent game, that makes up for that silly level 1 trade. Okay, and as we say that, he gets beat up by Braum and Ezreal poke. But, you know, he's staying alive. He did get that BF. Most likely working towards that Essence Reaver. You know, last game, Salvo, or the game prior, Salvo actually mixed it up a bit and went IE first, which is, I think, actually fine. It's really, I think maybe even player style, you know, like, dependent. I mean, IE is still a very good first item on Sivir, especially now that her W can crit. But Essence Reaver just gives a little bit more mana. It's good to have a little bit more cooldown as well as the game goes on with all of her spells.
So, just want to go back to top lane build because it looks like it's not going to be a Xerath out of Sundari Scotch. It's actually going to be Abyssal Scepter, which is a much better pick than anything I had been thinking about because there is so much magic damage on Triple B.
Yeah, that's... I mean, Malphite's actually always loved Abyssal Scepter. Throughout literally his entire existence as a champion, Abyssal Scepter on Malphite has been a very good pick, especially for, like, cheesy AP mid Malphite, but... yeah, it's good against Lulu, it's good against Gragas, and it's good against Braum and Ezreal, who are all doing magic damage of sorts. But Epic Yandere, he's back in the mid lane. The bounce and pounce goes down, and Epic, he's going to take that kill for himself. Thrifty roots the Scion passive and says, not today. Spell Shield goes down for Frisky. Sent by Mick with the barrel, tries to knock him back. Zaku is knocked back, but he's going to pop that Alistar ult, and he will walk away from this gank. Frisky's still going in, trying to lay down the ricochets, but Scotchy's into the bottom lane with the teleport, lands the ultimate on the Veil's Destiny, and he's very low, but Thrifty also rotated from the mid lane. First kill goes over to Frisky, and the second kill goes over to Thrifty. 0 for 2 for 2K2S, and they are going to get the Dragon from this.
Vivaret tried so hard. He flashed that Malphite ult too to the side, and it didn't matter. Too many people were bot lane.
Yeah, I'd have to see a replay on the start of that fight, but I really feel like 2K2S shouldn't have lost the early half of that fight so badly.
Blab teleported into the bottom lane to try to, he did save it, I guess.
Yeah, that's big. So now they're at least only trading the kills, and then Dragon trades for top tower.
Yeah, I think a large part of why they were able to come out the way they were in that fight is because they focused on the Zaku because he was farther back, but Zaku kept his ultimate until he actually got stunned, so he immediately canceled it and just walked out.
And here's the surprising thing: it's 5-1 in kills. I guess they are down tower, so that is helping out Batty Bargain Bin's gold value, but it's just the good CSing out of Batty Bargain Bin. A 40 CS deficit for Stripe in the top lane, 20 CS deficit for Vivaret in the bottom lane. I mean, it's 5-1, but I mean, as far as gold goes, this is still anyone's game.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
and the
Thrifty Senpai is 3-1-1. I mean, this has to be what he wanted when he picked Zyra, right? His teammates to be behind, but him to be getting big and a chance to just take this game over entirely.
Blab already has so much MR.
Yeah, wow. Aegis
Yeah.
of the Legion. That's a cool and interesting mid lane pickup.
That's weird.
Yeah, Blab's kind of weird like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's going into Banner of Commands.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like the kind of toxic, cancer-inducing thing that Blab would do.
That is exactly what I think that is going into. But Stripe, he already has a Rod of Ages early on in the game. He's going to get that stacking. Pretty easy lane for him. He's just going to continuously bully Scotch here. But Scotch did have that nice teleport into the bottom lane to try to even out the game. Abyssal Scepter is now completed for him as well. What's the big what's the win cons for both of these teams here? I mean, it's obviously team fighting for 2K2S, but what is Batty Bargain Bin? What do they want to do right now?
They want to be team fought on and then disengage, which is kind of awkward, but I think it's what they've got going.
Oh, Frisky with a good trade on to Phil Destiny in the bottom lane there. Stripe's actually
Quinn.
going in on the Scotch. Brom Alt has to try to disengage this fight. Epic Yandere flies in. Try to get
nice
the gank
Zaku.
here, and a double headbutt pulverize for Zaku, and great gank out of 2K2S, picking up another kill for them.
And I think if this game does go on, we're going to want to see Triple B go for a bit of a split push, because that was really, really effective out of Labour 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
and a fight in mid.
Yeah, both land the knockups on each other, and they just disengage.
The difference being that Senpai's
Yeah.
was a fucking ultimate.
Oh, yeah. Ah, man. Plab's really feeling all of this poke, but like you said, he did itemize pretty much full MR, so it could be worse. And Thrifty did get that blue buff. Where did
He can push the
blue-
plants away. Today I learned.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, yeah. Where did the blue buff for Batty Bargain Bin go to?
Probably on Mick.
Oh, yeah. Mick going on the Runic Echoes, Tracker's Knife, Gragas, very common. And going Merc Treads. It's good to see Merc Treads back in the game. It felt weird to see 10 Boots of Swiftness. Still pretty even game. Gold's pretty much dead even at this point. People are still laning here. Epic Yandere, he's really been all over the map on this Quinn jungle. He's already got the Warrior enchant. He's going into a Zeal item. Be interested to see which Zeal item that's going to. Maybe Rapid Fire Cannon?
I'm assuming it's going to be Rapid Fire.
Yeah, just for more added single target damage here. And
Mick
Mick
Flash.
tries to go in on a Thrift. He has to use his ultimate to try to disengage this fight. And Yandere, he is there, and he's dealing the deeps with the red buff. Picks up a kill for himself. So Mick getting a little feisty there. Maybe didn't have all the information he needed to start that.
Yeah, Epic Yandere, ever since he hit level 6, he's he's been in a lot of fights for how much we've been talking about Thrifty. He's playing this very well, Jungle Quinn.
Man, I don't think going into the season, I don't think anyone expected Epic Yandere to be such an impact player on his team. But so far, 3 weeks in, he's really been showing up on weird picks too. He doesn't play the normal things, but
Stripe going for Thrifty.
He's getting beat up by Madam Stripe. He has to use the ult to try to disengage, but it won't be enough. The Flash ultimate will finish it off to help his teammate out 1-for-1 while Rift Herald was going down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Rift
what.
Herald did ultimately get the kill out of that too.
Yeah, that's what Thrifty was originally there for. Was Rift Herald.
Okay. So yeah, wait, Thrifty actually picked up that kill.
Yep, with the
I think.
Zyra passive, it looked
Yeah.
like Scotch was giving that over.
He's probably still very happy about that. And man, he's got the items, man. He's got Leandry's Torment and Rellenomicon at 18 minutes, 19 minutes into this game.
Yeah, this
Huge
is the point
core
where-
items for Zyra.
This is the points where if you're in a custom game, somebody's hitting /FF.
Dude, how do you know, man? Maybe they're actually doing that in this SBL game.
Oh, and a tower dive, a flash out of him.
And the flash goes out as True Shot Barrage goes
Scotch has
wide
no
left.
ult, though.
Scotch teleports onto the tower. Exhaust goes down into Blab. They're trying to deal the damage. Braum passive procs onto Scotch here, but there's 4 members strong for 2K2S. They go in on Failed Destiny. He's the first to go down, and the counter teleport comes in from Madam Stripe. Heal goes out, saves the Scott's lives, but Vivared's still going. Now there's 5 members for 2K2S, and they turn the fight over once again. Madam Stripe's going to go down, killing 3 for Frisky Ona-chan, and an 0 for 2 going over to 2K2S.
And they'll be able to hold that mid lane tower as well. Maybe. Nope, they're going to stop for this dragon, actually.
Yeah, they're sending Senpai mid to try and defend that. I don't know if Mick can quite get that.
He's trying. He's so trying.
He's
got
gonna
only
die.
a couple more hits, but the tower actually
Danger.
aggroed him, not the caster minion. And I think that will be his life for it. Yeah, it will. Another kill going over to Thrifty Senpai. Wow, what a... And this game is still like less than 1,000 gold difference,
When's
and it's
the last
11 kills to 2.
Yes, 11-2. When's the last time you saw an 11-2 game this close on gold?
Yeah.
Holy
what?
shit.
Difference deleted from the map. Thrifty Senpai going huge on Zyra.
The teams might be close on gold, but Thrifty Senpai is not.
Yeah,
no,
the
and a
closest
mobile
person in this
mid lane
game-
mage like Zyra, what does that mean for these late game team fights? What if he gets jumped on, he's without a flash? What if he dies first in the team fight?
Then 2K2S loses a ton of objectives.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here too. I mean, the wave clear isn't solely relegated
Sivir
to
has
Sivir.
okay wave clear. But it's going to be a bad time if Thrifty gets picked to start one of these fights. But there isn't that much pick potential out of the bargain bin. It's going to either require a big Gragas outplay or Thrifty to just completely not watch one of his flanks.
We
It's not like he has
haven't-
a Malphite or something.
Have we
he's
not even
afraid of.
seen a Scion ult yet this game?
I have heard at least one. There was one to get to that last fight in the
Okay.
bottom.
Yeah,
I must have
but
missed it.
yeah, nothing. They're definitely not the very obvious like epic Scion ults we saw week 1. I guess he just hasn't had the roam potential. Zyra or Thrifty has been pushing him into tower constantly.
Yeah, that's
But-
a really good adaptation out of Thrifty Senpai, who has most likely never played this matchup before.
Most likely.
I mean, there's a chance.
Yeah, I honestly, with all there's a lot of players in this league who have played one champion a lot for their entire League of Legends career, but Epic
Win
Yandere
bottom.
floats into the bottom lane, and Blab will use his ultimate, but it doesn't get blocked, and he'll actually use it to run away from the gank.
Is that an epic enough Scion ult for you?
There you go.
I can't
We're just talking
believe
about it.
Quinn
Blab
couldn't get in
answers.
front of him. If Quinn had just taken that, had managed to take that hit, I don't know if she could or not, but if she had managed, that was a dead Scion.
No, she used what is when you bounce on the person?
Who knows the name?
Yeah, I called it bounce and pounce earlier. I like that.
Hold on, let's find out. Vault.
Yeah.
It's Vault.
Vault, yeah, he used that and he didn't have flash. So honestly, if I was the Quinn player and I had flash, I might have flashed in front of Sion there.
And we do have
But-
Stripe mid for Thrifty. And the slow going down with the Q. It's decent damage, but he
Ooh.
just walks out.
Yeah. He's gonna have to
I just wanna
recall to
get-
be safe here.
I want to get back to one point real fast while I have a chance, 30. You saying that if you were the Quinn, you might have flashed in front of the Scion to stop his ult pretty much sums up you, the AD carry player.
Okay. I get it. I don't know what I'm doing.
But yeah,
And yes, I would have flashed in front of the Scion.
Pretty big.
I like to make plays, okay? And that's just not the role you do it in.
So looking back at how this game breaks down,
Uh-oh.
Skioni-chan,
And
Oh,
here's
nice.
Yeah,
Epic.
really good disengage. Double headbutt for Zaku. And
Goodbye.
Frisky-
Goodbye.
Yandere, he's once again in the bottom lane, but Scion just runs away again.
I think Failed Destiny lost speed by jumping to Scion.
Wow, there's a lot of back and forth in this bottom lane here, and the struggle for this tier 1 bottom lane tower, and I think it will finally be conceded and go over to 2K2S. They now tie it up 2 towers to 2 here, and they finally take a gold lead, like an actual sustainable gold lead, about 3K for them at the 24-minute mark.
I feel like this game... Sorry, I was wondering if Skioni-chan was going to get caught there. But it's just really strange to see this 5-man fuckfest happening in bot lane, but it didn't start happening until after, 17 minutes or so.
And then
Where was
Yeah.
the level
towers
2
never
teleports,
got
the level
taken.
3 teleports? You don't tilt if you wait this long to fight in bot lane.
Also, all the fighting bot lane and towers weren't taken for the longest time.
Yeah, it has been kind of a weird game.
Senpai might be out of position.
Oh!
Good flash.
Thrifty, yeah, really good flash there. Flash is out of the
Here comes
Gragas
Scion.
ult.
Man.
And Scion with the ult
Nope.
misses
Thrifty's
Thrifty
out.
Senpai, but Failed Destiny is on the side. The Braum passive is procced, and Thrifty will turn around and concede his life. Passive is a miss, and there you go. Finally a kill
And
for
some
BBB.
really strange pathing out of Thrifty Senpai there. I'm not sure why he opted to run out to the river. That kind of sealed his fate.
Yeah, he had a good ult to save him from the Gragas barrel, but walking down into the Braum just made it. Oh,
Yeah,
Salma with a
Zaku's
good
gonna
knockup.
get in there, lay down the head, but Braum passive's procced. And I think it might, well, yeah, the wave is cleared and it will ward off the mid-tower siege. They kind of had a power play, like we were saying earlier, with Thrifty being down. He's still down for 13 seconds, but
I really feel like Bargain Bin should have stayed in mid lane for another creep wave to try to at least trade towers. But
Yeah.
instead, they're going to trade a tower for a dragon, in addition to losing a lot of creeps in that top lane.
yeah. And wait, Scott, yeah, he's still pushing this for free. He doesn't have a teleport. Stripe does have a teleport, so he's gonna recall and then answer that top lane. But some damage is gonna go down on this top lane tower, almost down to half health now. Wait, is Scott gonna finish this off? So, yeah, Stripe's actually gonna walk back to lane. And so wait a minute.
He got 2.
Yeah, that was a
dies?
really awful
And his team
play
gets 2
from Madam
towers?
Stripe. He was just not watching that top lane, and by the time he started recalling, he just didn't respect what Scotch could do pushing solo, and he needed to teleport to that top lane without recalling to save that second tower. And that's
Yeah.
a huge win out of Scotch, who's now going to have all the teleport pressure in the world once that spell comes up.
Yep. Yeah, and he's getting big. He doesn't have a kill, only 4 assists, but he does have Iceborne Gauntlet and the Abyssal Scepter completed. He has Bomby Cinder, so he's going into that Sunfire Cape. He's slowly approaching that unkillable Malphite zone. And now that he actually finally groups with his team and the Wombo combo is assembled, I don't see them losing a fight. Yeah, it's...
That would tilt me more if I didn't remember that my team gave up 4 towers in a similar trade earlier today.
Oh my god, the root goes down to Mick, and Mick has to flash out. Zaku with the double headbutt pulverize onto Blab and Failed Destiny. Failed Destiny's trying to zone out Thrifty here in the backline. Madam Stripe teleports exactly
Oh.
right next to him, but Oda-chan is on a rampage. 1 for 2, actually, at the end of the day. So it's still in favor of 2K2S, and they are 4 strong. Gonna try to siege his mid tower.
And that was also a fight that Scotchnaut was never
Oh,
in.
Epic Yandere, he goes in, Scotch follows up with the Malphite ult, and another kill. And a mid tower for 2K2S. They are running away with this game.
And just as I talk about a fight without Scotchnaut, that's just a great Malphite ult that was getting him bans all last season.
Yeah, that was a little bit of disrespect out of Stripe, walking so far away from his tower, because Yandere is
Wait.
right there. He procced the red buff, and then the bounce and pounce to slow him. It's kind of
Are
a
you
careless
insinuating
mistake.
that Madam Stripe might disrespect somebody?
It's so weird, right? Wow, and so now this is ballooned to a 7k gold lead for 2K2S. They're up 4 towers. Epic Yandere is pretty big, actually. But I think the real star of the show is still Thrifty Senpai. He's still leading the gold charts here at 11.7k. Someone brought up in Twitch chat, he's the only player to die on his team. Wait, what? Oh. I just heard a flash sound. Gragas, Bonnie Slam? Yeah. Okay, well...
But getting back to Thrifty Senpai being the only member of his team that died, this game is such a complete opposite of their week 1 loss to Waifu Superstar, where that was a game where Thrifty Senpai got huge early, and the entire game somebody needed to step up, and no one ever did. This game, BBB is entirely focused on Thrifty Senpai. They are not respecting the rest of this team at all, and everyone else on 2 Kawaii to live, 2 Sugoi to die is stepping up.
Yeah. I agree, yeah, that is really the theme of this game. Yeah, Epic Yandere and Friskiano-chan, formerly RNG Keizukami, they are the support carries, essentially. When Thrifty goes down, which he inevitably will, it seems like, with all the CC that's trying to be blown on him, they will be there, still standing, and still dealing tons of damage. You run double AD, you get really big, that's what's gonna happen if you don't try to lock him down early in a team fight. 2K2S are roaming around this mid lane here. They have all of the vision on the Baron. Maybe seeing if they could do a Baron bait here. Blab's in the bottom lane. He does have teleport and is pushing that out. And Vivrit's just out of base, and he's going to be coming towards the Baron pit and hit. It has been started. 2K2S has started the Baron. It's already down to half health.
It goes down fast with the Zyra in there.
Yeah. I don't think Betty Bargain, they're not here to answer, and it's already down, so now they can fight freely. 3-man knockout for Malphite ultimate. Grokasol tries to disengage the fight, but it's already too late. Double kill for Epic Yandere. Thrifty flashes over the wall, lays down the root onto Blabaruni, and that is gonna be the game, folks. Triple kill for Epic.
What an awful, greedy play out of Blaboor. Why would you ult all the way from bot lane instead of just teleporting in? That lost them the game. They had to be there earlier.
Wow. Well, what
Lab
a...
says there was no ward to TP2.
Oh, that's...
Then
That
that
is
was just
unfortunate.
bad team play to not have wards around Baron at 30 minutes when you're split pushing bot. That is definitely something that you have to factor in, like when you choose to split push, is if your team is in position for you to TP in. And I mean, obviously that isn't entirely on the top laner, but that was just a big lapse in communication that literally ended the game.
All right, so who do we want in here besides Thrifty Senpai?
I would like to hear from Epic.
Epic?
Yeah,
I
or
totally
Frisky,
agree.
yeah.
Well, who do we want?
I think Epic, yeah. Epic's... Epic.
Epic? Anyone else, or just the one?
Yeah, Epic. Let's just stick with Epic and Thrifty.
User
More
was
than
moved
two,
to
it
your
gets a little
channel.
cluttered.
Buddy
Hello,
was moved to your
welcome,
channel.
Epic
Oh, hey.
and Alice, to the interview booth.
Yeah,
So I guess-
congrats.
We'll just start this with a bang. Alice, are you going to play Zyra again this split?
Fuck. Well, if it's open, yes. But it's If they let me have it, I'll play it again.
Tim,
That's not gonna happen.
how's it feel to be a feeder? You're the only person on your team who died.
I knew that was gonna happen picking this, but I wanted to play it. Like, basically, everyone just focused on me, like, every single fight super, super hard, and everyone else on my team was still doing damage, and they didn't respect them. So they just got to slap their shit after they took a ton of damage from me, blew way too much for one person. So, no one important died, and then the important guys killed them.
Fair enough.
So,
Epic, you were always in the right place at the right time. Your in-lane ganks, specifically, were very, very good. You're using your speed perfectly. Were those called out, like, far in advance, or what is it, just a spur of the moment?
We had the first gank plan before the game started. We had several other ganks planned. Like, we were planning a gank while we were ganking. Everything was planned out. For the most part.
Wow. Oh, well, that's good. Now we know, because that's what I brought up earlier in the cast of what last week of that. It was just you with your jungler instincts, or it was actually really good team communication, which sounds like it's the latter.
Yeah, it's a little of both, but it really is like everyone is talking, especially now. 3 weeks in, we kind of got the kinks out. Everyone's speaking. It's really nice.
Yeah, no, we have really good team communication, and Epic is really good at playing he's really good at just being in the right spot at the right time. So the combination of that too, with us just feeding him information, makes it really easy. He does a really good job with the information we give him.
Well, with that win, no one is undefeated anymore.
Yep.
Yep.
It'll be a tight race this year. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. You guys got LSR first pick, and then you followed up a second rotation with a Sivir, and you got Malphite. Like, was this team
Sivir
comp
Quinn.
planned
We got
out?
Sivir.
Because I mean, obviously you don't plan around you getting Zyra, but it seemed like the Sivir LSR route was very purposeful.
Yeah. The only difference, we were gonna first pick Ari if it wasn't banned. Because we kind of assumed we were figuring I wasn't gonna get Zyra or Ari, but once they left Zyra open, I wasn't worried about them picking it, so we were able to wait that on the long rotation. But this team comp was planned. We had a couple other different mid laners we were planning on doing with it, but they left Zyra open, so it worked out really well.
Nice. Swift, you got any last thoughts?
are you guys gonna go 9-1 the dream?
That's the plan.
I like that. Jungler with confidence.
I was like, you seen this guy? He's got huge balls.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about huge balls really fast,
Oh,
because
God.
there's a guy on my team who used to play jungle. He now plays mid lane, and he always talks about how his balls are overheated. Is that a jungler thing?
Well, I can check. Oh shit. That might actually be a jungle thing.
All right.
Oh, this is weird.
Glad I learned something tonight. So,
We had to ask Master Splinter to confirm.
Yeah.
I'll shoot Wes a call after this. But I guess on that note, hot sweaty balls, we're ready to tune out. So thank you everyone that's watched this week and all that jazz. From me, myself, and I, have a good night, and we'll see you next week.